It's time to mow. Well, at least that's the plan. I've been putting it off. I haven't even been putting it off. I just haven't even really thought about it. But these weeds are getting a little unruly. These weeds are over my head. Well over my head. You can see way back there, there's the tank. Totally covered up. It's time. I wanted to flip my brush hog around, but I have not had time to do that because I got to take it to the yard, and that's just a whole nother scenario there that I don't want to deal with. So it will work the way it is. I just have to tilt it up a little bit so that the weeds can actually go into the mowing area. If I don't, it'll just kind of push the weeds off to the side because I'll be driving forward, and but the mower will actually be going in reverse of what it normally goes on the tractor, because it's in the front of the unit, not the back. And the back of the unit is closed off, which will actually be the front. Closed. Open. We're gonna do a quick test and see if it even spins right. It works, but the speed, the RPMs are way low. See, that's what I was waiting for right here. This thing can still spin and this thing doesn't. That was what I needed. What I have here is, you see that? It's a pump. It does 1.4 gallons a minute. This I got at an auction, paid $5 for it. It works. So now I want to show you how I pump worm tea out. I used to inject it or spray it with a little sprayer. Now I can empty these 10 gallons in just a few minutes, which is fantastic, because hand spraying all this crap takes forever with a little sprayer. And time is money, so they say. It's time for an update. Patch update. The update is they're growing. Not as good as the first year, not as good as the second year, but they're growing. I've kind of run into a problem here because originally it was obvious which one I was going to take to the fair. I had a late bloomer. It wasn't even late, I guess, it was just slow. But this past 5 days, it was, as far as I know, the fastest grower in the patch. And it's caught up. kind of. But it's all about momentum as opposed to actual weight at the time. So right now, I don't know which one I'm going to take. My biggest one is growing the slowest right now. My littlest one appears to be growing the fastest. That's a predicament because I have just a few weeks till the fair, or a couple weeks even. Not very long. Patch is almost filled in. I got this little hole here, and of course it's not going to fill in this strip because I don't have anything to fill it with. But this way, patch is full, not going any further. Leaves are getting huge. Weeds are a little out of control over here. But these are all, I got a main vine right there that I'm going to snake around here and let it keep going. I've never done that. I'm going to terminate these shortly as soon as they get rooted well, and this plant will be almost fully, the corner's got a little bit to go yet, but it'll be almost full. Great plant, 30 feet across. It'll be all of 600 square feet maybe when it's done. This was going to be the fair pumpkin. It's getting some crazy colorations, but it put on 120 pounds in the last 5 days, and I think the last 2 days have been fairly substantial, but this is at 400 pounds now. So it was 100 pounds behind at day 35, and now it's day 40 today, and it's only about 50 pounds behind as far as days after pollination. So it caught up a lot. That's the 1049 number 2. Came out of my nice round one last year. Roughly the same shape, roughly the same color, except it's got those light spots. This is the same seed as the one we just looked at. From the same pumpkin. This one looks a lot like my good one last year, but it's starting to get some of those white spots as well. This one's right around 450. Doing well. Good shape, good color. Quite offset on the board. I could not get everything centered up, so I'm going to fight that for sure. That's the first pumpkin we looked at. This is the other half side of the plant it's filling in. This is the main vine off of that plant we're going to go look at, but just have a little bit more in here to fill in. Now this dude is it's been the fastest grower for a while now, but if you'll remember the nose last year, this one is reminding me a lot of it. It's weird shaped and it's hollow sounding. And even when it was measuring 300 pounds, I could just pull it easy. Now, been a few days since I measured, but we should be in the 450 pound range with it as well. But it's got a few days yet till it's 40 days old. I think it's only 37 today. So it's the youngest, and it had the most steam. We'll see. It's already seeping pretty bad. Blanket sticks to it every time I put it on there. I don't know. I'm not sure what's going to happen with it. It's good color though. Good color and a crazy shape. This plant is filled in nicely. Look at that. I just trimmed some vines and it's perfectly filled in my area. I do have some leaves to step over here. Leaves are holding out pretty good too. This end of the plant wasn't ever under shade net, so it's burned pretty bad, but the internals are doing all right. This plant is the smallest in footprint, smallest in leaves, smallest in vines. It's just tiny. Almost could have done a 150 square foot patch with this one because it's not much more than that. But the fruit has been the biggest since day one, and definitely the craziest looking. This thing was 32 inches tall the other day, but it's only, you know, just a little over 2 feet deep, and got to be getting really close to 4 feet wide. But it's doing well. Put on 20 pounds the other day. That's always a plus. 20 pounds one day, but it was only 10 the day before. So 30 pounds for a 2-day average, not that good. That one was going to be my fair pumpkin. We're going to see how this one does the next, well, 10 days or so, 14 days. This one may end up being it. I don't know if I've mentioned this before, on this year, but I'm almost exclusively organic on fertilizers this year because I had a lot of salts in my soil. Wanted to give the soil a rest, but still be able to grow. And I was able to find a regimen that's kind of all around. You know, it's a well-rounded regimen, and I'm not disappointed. Go from full synthetic, crazy, hot stuff to almost exclusively. I mean, I haven't put any synthetics in, but I've had some stuff that wasn't necessarily OMRI certified, but it was microbe type things. It's not like it's a synthetic phosphorus or something. Not disappointed. Just not as far as it could have been. That's it.